Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. This is Channel Vision editor Gerald Baldino here, and today we're very excited to feature PCCW Global, the 2020 Visionary Spotlight Award winner, for a presentation on driving revenue opportunities with the Console Connect software-defined interconnection platform. Joining us today from PCCW Global is Director of Channel Sales Paul Cadwell, VP of Digital Automated Innovation Michael Glynn, and Pre-Sales Engineer John Runsky. Please stay with us for a live demo and a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. You can submit questions at any time through the Q&A portal located at the bottom of the Zoom platform. At this point, I'd like to turn the webinar over to Paul to begin. Paul?
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. Thank you for everybody for joining today. I know everybody's kind of busy out there. To spend some time on this webinar means a lot to us, so I appreciate you joining. With that said, today we've got Michael Glynn, who has over 20 plus years. I've been with companies, startups as Vocus, Megaport, Superloop, to name a few. Very experienced in the industry, and he's our VP of Digital Automated Innovation. And we're definitely glad to have him on the call today. John Runsky's my senior pre-sales engineer. No picture of him today there, but he's been with me for 10 plus years and has over 20 years in the industry as well. So we're very, very well experienced in the cloud, and we're very excited to talk to you today. Today's agenda, we're just going to go through this quickly, but most of it's going to be talked about with Michael. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the marketing side of things and how you guys can get started. John will be talking a little bit about our network, just for people on the call today that might not be familiar with who PCCW Global is. And then we'll kind of get into the meat and potatoes and talk more about the Console Connect platform and what we have to offer as far as pricing, commissioning structures for you guys. Robert mentioned the Visionary Spotlight Awards. I just want to touch on them today as well. We were up for and won 3 awards back a couple months ago for most responsive supply channel team. That's my team getting back to you and when you do need quotes. So I was very honored with that award. Also, best software-defined interconnection platform, which is today's call, and also international network deployments. And I think you'll get to know a little bit more about us here in a minute and see why we're so successful. Just want to touch about our parent company in Hong Kong. HKT has been in business since 1925, so we're coming up on 100 years. Very well established, over 17,000 employees. $3.8 billion industry. We're in over 80% of the households in Hong Kong. We're very well established. I like to make sure I mention that as people are wondering who PCCW Global is. In 2005, we broke off as a global international arm for HKT. And through that, we kind of saw the vision of what we needed to do in order to hit the marketplace, hit the ground running. Between NNI agreements, strategically placing POPs from a wholesale perspective, playing in the same sandbox with all the big players, we've become a tier 1 provider. And you can see we specialize in Asia, Europe, the Americas, the Middle East, and Africa. One last thing on here is 57 global offices. What's that mean for you is that we have feet on the street globally to kind of form the relationships with the local LECs in those areas to help negotiate best pricing on your behalf, and also allow us to get some competition going between the local LECs to get you the best price. With this next slide, 32 terabytes shows our size. We're over in 3,000 cities in 160 plus countries and growing. From the digital platform, we have expanded to all the big cloud providers, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and Alibaba, just to name a few.
Thanks, Paul. My name is John Runsky, and as Paul mentioned, I've been the pre-sale support for him for almost 10 years now. Back when we started together, the channel was just in its infancy with PCCW Global, but now I'm virtually 100% dedicated to channel solutions and support. Before we go into the actual Console Connect platform, I think it's important to talk a little bit about the network that's behind it. PCCW Global operates a robust global fiber network. This supports our transmission, Tier 1 internet platform, and MPLS network. As you can see, over 32 terabits of global transmission capacity, close to 700,000 kilometers of transmission fiber between overland and undersea cables. The next slide you'll see here shows our continued growth plan. We're not just stopping at where we are. Recently, in the past couple of years, we have deployed AAE1, which reaches from Asia to Europe. This has really helped eliminate a bottleneck that's existed for a couple of years before that along that path. We've also expanded, if you'll see down the west coast of Africa, we've gained an ownership position in the West Africa cable system, which used to just run from Europe to South Africa, but we've been expanding it to reach up and down different ports of entry on the west coast of Africa. This has really spearheaded our deployment into that region. Going on the green side, on the green line on the right side, you'll see Jupiter. This just came onto service this year, and this has really added a ton of capacity between the west coast of the United States and Asia. We are consortium members on that. And then you'll see a couple blue dotted lines here, which are showing some new initiatives that are under development right now. Probably the most interesting is the Peace Cable, which is going to be connecting Asia, Pakistan, and Africa along the eastern coast of Africa. So this last slide that you'll see here from me is going to talk a little bit about our actual IP network, which supports two different discrete services. One is our Tier 1 internet backbone. We are a Tier 1 global provider, one of the 10 largest backbones globally. The other discrete service is our private MPLS network. This is a Tier 3 global network, hundreds of nodes on it, 4 classes of service. And this is the actual infrastructure that is going to support, or that does support, the Console Connect platform. So from here, let me hand it back to Paul, because he wants to talk a little bit about where we see Console Connect place in the channel.
As you can see, the industry has really taken off just in the last few years. And like John mentioned, when you're running off our own backbone with its digital platform, it really is it's a really differentiator for us. And I think you guys on the call today will see the vision of where we're trying to go with it. But with $317 billion by the year 2022, 40% of the investment going on right now is going from cloud first to cloud only, along with large enterprise companies are moving to a direct network to the cloud. So from direct connections to the cloud. So we're seeing a lot of growth. The potential's there. I always try to tell any sub-agent that's out there that has a relationship with the customers, especially international ones, is the vision is there to make a lot of commission money, where maybe the U.S. is pretty saturated with some of the products they have to offer. I just feel like this is really a niche, and there's an opportunity there to make a lot of commissions. Like John said, the opportunity for channel, especially going to cloud and the SaaS services, it's just offering your customers a lot of potential when you're out there in the workplace. We'll talk more at the end today about additional training that we can get for you that'll help you to qualify your customer as you speak to them and see the offerings that are out there for the public, moving off public internet into the cloud. So I think there's just so much upside to this that they're looking to move off to a different solution and demand and efficiency. So this is where I'm going to have Michael take over. He's going to cover his slides today, and then I'll do a little wrap up at the end.
Thanks, Paul, and thank you, John. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Good morning from Australia. So, yes, as Paul mentioned, I look after our Console Connect software-defined interconnection platform, which we launched really at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019. And it's really about enabling our customers to self-provision anywhere across our network. And as PCCW Global go through our digital transformation, as many carriers do, we've Console Connect is just a product name of our automation platform, which we've launched today. We've announced it and live over 45 countries, and I'll go through that in a minute. So a quick rundown. Our software-defined interconnection platform is a software-defined network platform. And we enabled this because we're seeing a large growth in the market for customers to interconnect between data centers, but also to light up services on demand anywhere across the world, but also have them for a short period. So the benefit of using a software-defined interconnection platform is that you can turn and self-provision, monitor services anywhere across the network for short periods. But also you can, once connected, use those connections then to band network up and down as you see it. So we're seeing a lot of customers at the moment using the network for short-term traffic, but also interconnecting directly to cloud. Cloud today, enterprises are using turning cloud on and off as they see and need to move their traffic directly to the cloud or anywhere across the world into multiple cloud regions for redundancy. So it's just not cloud. Also, we're seeing a large increase of interconnection between data centers. Many enterprise customers have their data sitting in multiple data centers for redundancy, and also different access to their third-party SaaS and also cloud applications. So I just want to run through what is Console Connect first. So I think there could be a bit of a lag on the PowerPoint, so bear with me. So on-demand, private, predictable security. That's what we talk about when we talk about our software-defined interconnection platform. I'm just going to run through some of these. So what is Console Connect? Console Connect is our self-provisioning software which sits directly on top of our MPLS network. Today, the PCCW Global's MPLS network spans 190 countries, 3,000 cities. We've turned this on today in 45 countries and about 375 data centers. And what we've done is what I call stage one. We've interconnected all our cloud in all different regions, and also now we're working on all our SaaS partners. They include people like RingCentral, private clouds like Anexia, all around the world, from Joburg to Chicago, to London, to Sydney, to Hong Kong. So enterprise customers can instantly provision services directly to their cloud or their SaaS partners, or between data centers, and manage and monitor it in real time. So the interconnection platform, we're one of the first carriers to actually launch a real-time platform. Very different than different other companies out there that have fabrics. We actually own the network, and we're running across our subsea cable systems, our multiple subsea cable systems, and also our partner fiber networks, all in countries. Every service that runs across the network is fully protected across our layer 2 network. So as John mentioned before, our MPLS network. So Console Connect is our software-defined interconnection platform, which sits directly on top of our network. So if you're lighting up a service between Chicago and London, you're sitting directly on top of multiple paths across the network. So this sits on our layer 2 network. So again, uncontended, when you order 100 meg or 1 gig or 10 gig between data centers or to cloud, you're dedicated to have that. But as a carrier, as John mentioned, we run multiple classes of service underneath. So as a customer on our network can also select multiple classes of service. So if enterprise customers are running voice or video or any of those packets they want to prioritize, you can actually select that onto the platform. So when you're lighting up services across the world, you can actually prioritize your traffic across our software-defined interconnection platform. And that's very different than other fabrics. So as mentioned before, our platform today is live in 350 plus data centers in 45 countries. Now, they range from the US right through, we're in 63 metro areas just in Europe, and then also through Africa. So we're one of the first software-defined platforms to turn on bandwidth on demand throughout Africa's and 12 countries through APAC. But also in the US, also in the US, we are in 60 data centers, and we're growing that every month. For an example, on this diagram, as of last week, we've turned on at the Switch data center in Vegas. But you'll find us in many of the key data centers all throughout the US, and we continue to grow that platform through the US at the end of this year and definitely early next year. But also going down into South America, we're currently updating a lot of our core infrastructure for more bandwidth for customers, as we're seeing more of the customers in South America to instant provision to cloud services right through to North America. So as stage one, we've interconnected all our cloud. So these are our key cloud providers in each region. So you may have a customer sitting in Chicago, but they may have their cloud sitting or their data sitting in AWS or Azure in Europe, as they're a European enterprise customer. So we can actually, on our network, spin up services anywhere across the world in all the different cloud regions. They include your Oracle, your Alibaba, your Tencent, your AWS, your IBM, all the major cloud, but we also work with in-country cloud as well, such as Naver in Seoul, Yendes in Russia, and many other private clouds like Nexia and many others, to interconnect them into our platform in multiple regions so their customers can access. We also work with many what I call ecosystem partner managers. Partners onto the platform. These are our SaaS partners. These are people like Cloudflare. Cloudflare customers that have DDoS services with Cloudflare under attack with some sort of a DDoS attack. They can actually spin up a circuit directly into a Cloudflare region. Cloudflare today interconnected in 14 different regions around the world for their customers. The same as RingCentral Cloud. Today, they're interconnected in 8 sites all around the world for their key customers on their cloud interconnect, can actually VLAN directly into their network via layer 2, not over the public internet. Ideal for low latency, but also security of services. And we continue to work with many SaaS and also IX partners. We have enterprise customers and large OTTs that need to VLAN directly into someone like DKIX in Dallas or London or even in Frankfurt. So they can actually interconnect via layer 2 or into our network and spin up a service into their environment and just have that service for one day, either to move traffic around anywhere around the world. So why Console Connect? Console Connect, again, we are a carrier. We offer our customers non-contended services, Ethernet services anywhere across the world, but also you can turn things on and off without sitting themselves into a contract. Traditional carriers, that they'll need a 12, 24, 36-month contract. It will take 40 days to install. With Console Connect, you can have a port into our network. And then when you need to light up services, you can just have that service for one day. You can light it up, monitor it, and then turn it off, or use bandwidth up and down as you need. So you can have your contracts for one day, 1 week, 1 month, and you can light up multiple services all around the world. And they'll also have multiple ports, port to port, data center to cloud, data center to SaaS. So as mentioned, the benefits of looking at a software-defined interconnection platform is to interconnect purely between data center. That's something new, especially in the Americas, that PCCW Global now, customers can light up services 100 meg, 10 meg, 1 meg, or even 10 gig between Chicago and LA, or between Ashburn and Reston. So all these things can be done on demand directly across our network, but also you may have a customer that has from the same customer that's going from one Chicago data center directly through to AWS in Chicago. That customer also may have a port in London, and they can also virtual connect directly and monitor and keep everything under one environment. So our interconnection platform, we've kept it very simple, especially on the pricing side. A customer who needs to get into the platform have what we call an access port into the network. These access ports are available in over the 60 data centers throughout the Americas. Once a customer think of it like a gym membership. You pay that membership every month. It's locked in for 12 months. So we charge a fee, a set fee for that. Once that's live, a customer then can virtual connect directly anywhere across the network in real time, and I'll show that in a minute. And we structure those virtual connects. So there are 3 different structures. One's a metro pricing, which is a flat fee. So for customers in a data center in Chicago and wants to virtual connect to a cloud in Chicago or another data center in Chicago, we charge a flat fee of around about $80 up to 1 gig or 10 gig, $200, which means that you can have 10 gig between a data center in Chicago and Chicago in the same metro area for $200. And that's a monthly fee. Or if you want 1 gig, it's $80. But you can turn it on for 1 day for about $9. Then you go into your same zone pricing, and we've captured the different zones all around the world for our pricing. So for an example, you can light up a service from Chicago to Las Vegas, and then we have a same zone pricing per meg, and I think there it's around the 18 cents per meg. Then we've got global pricing. So then you can go from San Jose directly through to London. And that sort of pricing there's about $1 per meg. So if you're lighting up 100 meg, then you charge $100 per month. And you can just turn it on, turn it off. So we made the pricing very simple, but also you can, and I'll show you where you can access some of this pricing on demand as well. So this is our global pricing. This is also available on our website that people can download. And we've made this quite simple. Now, remembering this is our pricing zone, not the network. So we've designed this just as a pricing zone only. So you can see there, especially in the US, you can see there in the blue over the top right, you've got US East, US West, US Central. So for an example, if I'm going from Australia, which I am at the moment, in Sydney, straight through to LA, all you're doing is following the line. And you see there's $6. So that's $6 per meg. So if that's 1 meg, 10 gig, same price, $6 per meg. So we make it very simple. If you're going, for an example, on this case, if you're going from LA, which is in US West, directly through to London, which is over top left in purple, you see EU, UK. Just follow the line there, you see 28 cents, then up the top there, and sorry, I think that's a bit hard to see in this presentation, that's 80 cents. So you know that's $1.08 per meg. So we make it very simple. So what I want to do now is just quickly give you a quick demo of our automation platform. So Console Connect, again, it's PCCW Global. It's our automation interconnection product. So we've put together our own website and everything for our customers. So this is our website, consoleconnect.com. Anyone can register and have a look onto the platform. We encourage all agents, master agents, to log in and have a look. You don't need to order services, but definitely you can access the pricing tools and everything like that. So Console Connect website, it's pretty simple. You can sign up online, as I've already signed up. Also on the website, you can see all the data centers we're in. You can download the pricing. You can see all our key partners and everyone like that on the platform. So it's our dedicated website. As PCCW Global, as we go through our digital transformation journey, we'll bring more and more of our carrier products once we automate them in the back end and bring them under the umbrella of Console Connect. Today, as mentioned, the Console Connect really runs on our layer 2 network that you can spin up services anywhere across the world on our network. So once logged in and registered, you come to four easy tabs of Console Connect. One is the activity tab. We also have partners here that add their events and things on here. You can have a look, and companies can, once they register, can hide themselves, or they can make themselves visible on the network. So you can see here, we keep these updated. It looks a little bit like LinkedIn. You can like things and all those sort of things on here. We actually had our friends at LinkedIn many years ago help us design this. We have our community page. This is, for an example, if a customer is working with someone like Cloudflare or an IX partner, or to see any other companies that are visible onto the network, they can actually find them on this page. For an example, I can click on here. Today there's about, which are visible, around 600 businesses, carriers, SaaS partners, enterprise customers, OTTs, all on the platform. And you can actually follow these companies. Once registered, you can do your own profile, but also you can actually, if I click onto our friends here at Cloudflare, you can actually private message people who are on the network. These include salespeople in data centers and everything like that, looking to purchase services. So we've created a real community here on the platform. So you can see here with our friends here at Cloudflare, you can contact sales, but also the engineers. You can follow them, or you can private message them here on the network. I'm just going to skip network at the moment, but click directly into our pricing. So this is a great tool, especially for looking at on-demand pricing anywhere across the world. So you can work with your enterprise customers to grab pricing, or they can log in and grab pricing as well. So for an example, anyone on the platform needs to have a port into the network. So that gives them that membership and gives them that pipe directly into our platform. So you can order a port in any of our 373 data centers. So for an example, on pricing, I may want a port in Chicago. It will link here all our data centers in Chicago, Equinix, Cyxtera, NYI, for an example, if that's where the customer is, can order a 1 or 10G port. And let's order another port, let's say in Los Angeles. And let's say core site, and you can see there we're in data centers there in Los Angeles. And let's do another one just for sakes, and let's say London. Now in London, I know that we're in 30 odd data centers in London. The Equinixes, the DRTs, let me just click one here that everyone should know. Let's go Equinix in London. Let's order 10 gig. 1 10 gig ports are exactly the same pricing. $300 a month, fixed for 12 months. So that gives them that membership directly into the network. So for an example, if I'm an enterprise customer based in Chicago, and I want to get a pricing to go to a cloud in Chicago. And for an example, let's go AWS. So you can see here all the major clouds. Let's go AWS. You can see all the interconnects to our cloud. Now, this is very important. Comparing us to many other fabrics, our interconnection to our partners is a direct interconnect. We do not use third-party interconnects to connect to our cloud partners, which means we run a blue cable from our network directly into AWS in Chicago, directly into AWS in Sydney. So we're not using anyone else to connect to our cloud partners. So you can see here all our cloud interconnects with our multiple interconnects here into AWS. So let's go Chicago, enterprise customer. He's in NYI data center in Chicago. He wants 500 meg, and he wants to move the traffic just for 1 day. So he wants to turn it off, turn it on, push his traffic, turn it, and then turn it off. And then he may want to go from Chicago between his ports because he's setting up an office environment, or a multi-site interconnect between multi-data centers, Los Angeles, and he may want 1 gig, and he doesn't want to be locked into a contract. He just wants it month to month to let it roll. So he wants a gig protected between his data center in Chicago and Los Angeles. Let's just go one more here. Let's go Los Angeles to London. And let's go 100 meg. And we just need that for 1 week. Show pricing. So this will go through our network. We'll have a look at the ports, and then it'll come up with all our pricing. So this, sorry, my internet here in Australia is a bit slow. Here we go. So you can see here in some of our key partner data centers, we offer free cross connects, which means that in NYI data center, we'll charge the customer $300, but it includes the cross connect at the data center. So you can see there NYI is a 1 gig, call site in LA is 10 gig, and also in Equinix in London, 10 gigs. So that gives you locked into contract. But any circuits that you have between data centers or to cloud or to any of other partners on the platform, it could be business to business. So you may have a business enterprise customer also on the platform, and the two enterprise customers want to move traffic between their own networks. So you can set that up instantly, and the provisioning time just takes just under a minute. So you can see here Chicago to LA, 1 month for 1 gig at $220. You can see here Los Angeles to London, 100 meg for 1 gig. But you can see here where we went to cloud in Chicago, from that port in Chicago to AWS. 500 meg for 1 day is about $880. Sorry, $8.80. So you can turn it on and then turn it off. So once now that you've got the pricing, you then have a look at the network page. Now this can be an enterprise customer can do this. So this is your provisioning. This enables a customer to order ports, but also manage those ports. So you can see here I'm logged in as myself. I have some ports here of my own. You can see here I've got a port here in Germany, in Equinix, some here in Brisbane, Mega I in Hong Kong, and another one here at the bottom here in Italy. I have a port. So I can simply order a port in, for an example, Chicago. You can type in Chicago, or you can click down per region. So here we go Equinix, and some of our data centers in Chicago. I can order a port. 1 gig, I can call it ABC Company. And once you're set up onto the network, in the back end, you can pay by credit card, or you may have an invoice. The enterprise customer will have an invoice and set up in the back end with PCCW Global. I have an invoice, the terms and conditions, which is the SLA. And as soon as I order a port, it will then go through our provisioning team, and we'll work with the enterprise customer to run the cross connect from our Meet Me rack at Equinix to the customer. And remembering, in this data center, we offer a free cross connect, which means we take that charge and we organize that for the customer. Once that port's live, it then comes under the network tab as a port live onto the network. So if you've got multiple ports, they'll all come up here on the tabs here. Once they're live, a customer there can manage that port. Some in a carrier world, they call that an NNI, which is a network interconnect, or in enterprise world, they just call it an access port into the platform. Once that's live, the customer there can manage that port. They can manage the utilization, they can manage the connections, live connections, anything to do with that port, they can do that. So for an example, this port here I've got is an Equinix. You can see it's in Frankfurt. It's a 1 gig port. The cross connect interconnect is a single mode fiber. So that's from us to customer. It's and then we can oversubscribe the port if the customer wanted to. So once the port is live, then you can run a service. So this is what we call a connection. Now those connections can go to many places. So you can see here, I've got some connections here already. I can manage those connections. I can turn them on, turn them off. I can turn them up, which means if I have 100 meg, I want to turn up to, a gig. I just want for 1 day because I'm moving traffic between offices. You can actually go on here and then service yourself onto the platform. So running a virtual connect, you can run it into multiple areas. So once you have a port, you may want to go to a cloud. For an example, may want to go to AWS. As mentioned before there, to Chicago, to AWS. Again, everything across the network is A, B. A being your port, B being the destination that you want to go to. So for an example, A end, we can select that port, and let's go to that port I had there in Frankfurt. There it is. I just want it for a day, so I want to pay as I go. And then the B end is going to be, for this example, because I clicked on AWS, we can click on all the regions here that are directly interconnect to AWS, and you'll see there the Chicago one, there it is, Illinois. Customer puts in their AWS key code, select the bandwidth, select the term at the bottom, how long they'd like it for. Now, today I'm not going to spin up a circuit into AWS, but if I had an AWS ID code, I'd put that in here. I'd go to the AWS website, accept the VLAN that's coming through, and then once that exception then, that connects the two interconnects together, and then that then's provisioned. But I won't run through a cloud connect today, but what I will do is go through some of our other ways that we can order services. So you can also order a service to another company on the network. So for an example, and I see Cloudflare just popped up there on the bottom. So let's just click on Cloudflare. So for my AN port, BN could be Cloudflare. I could have DDoS and services with Cloudflare, and I'm being attacked, having a DDoS attack right now from my IP transit. So I need to move that traffic to Cloudflare very quickly. I can contact Cloudflare, and suddenly Cloudflare asks the question, you say, look, I'm on Console Connect. Can we VLAN directly into your core for scrubbing? They'll say yes. You can contact them directly on here. Again, AN port in Frankfurt. I just need that maybe for a week or even a day just to scrub my traffic because I am being attacked. Letting Cloudflare take care of it. You can see here Cloudflare have direct interconnects in multiple areas around the world. Again, Chicago. I can then message the team, the provisioning team at Chicago I was talking to, by clicking on this membership here, or this icon here. And here you can see it goes to multiple people on Cloudflare that are on the network, as well as get emailed to the key people at Cloudflare. You can simply say here, hi Cloudflare, this is my username for Cloudflare. Please open the door. I'm running a VLAN into your network. You can then simply here, also you can let the network auto assign your VLAN, or you can put in your own VLAN tags in here. I may want 100 meg. And again, because this is email, I won't have any, I won't set up any priority across our network, which means class of service. But if this was going to Ring Central or anywhere else across the network, I may want to prioritize my applications, my voice applications or my video applications across the network, which gives that higher class of service across our MPLS network. And the last one here I want to run into is going from port to port. So this is very interesting or very important, especially when customers are doing interconnection between multi-data centers. So you may have a customer in Chicago, or a customer in Chicago that's in Equinix in Chicago, a DRT in London, or a Sextera in Chicago, and they just want to do 100 meg point to point between two data centers. So you can also do that here on the platform. Again, select your A end. So let's go for an example. I'm doing an international one at the moment. So we've got one here. Actually, I'll change this one here. I think I've got enough bandwidth on this one. Pay as I go. So here I'm going from Frankfurt. Let's pick another one. B end, I've got here Hong Kong. So again, we're just going between our own ports. So let's keep the Hong Kong. So this one, I think, I'm pretty sure is at Mega I. I want the network to align my own VLANs. I want 100 meg. I don't need any priority across the network because I'm just running my core systems across here. I want that for 1 day, 12 months, let it roll. For this example, I'll go 1 day, next. It'll come up with the price. So this is 100 meg protected across the underlaying is our multi-subsea cable system. From Frankfurt to Hong Kong, I just want it for 1 day. I have an invoice, which means in the back end, I'm set up with PCCW Global. I'm going between my ports. I'll accept the SLA and the terms and conditions, and then connect. So this will take roughly about a minute, or just under a minute. Now I'm running my own connection between my ports, which means I'm lighting up 100 meg right now between 2 countries across our network, layer 2, and it gets provisioned roughly about 50 seconds. And then the service is completed. Once that service is finished and completed, you can actually log in and go, you know what, that 100 meg, I've got it there for 1 day, but you know, I may just want to bump it up for, if I have it for a month or a week or a year, but I want to bump it up to a gig for 1 day. Exactly the same, go into the service, allocate what we call flex, bump it up to 1 gig, price comes up, enter, it then will take 30 seconds to 60 seconds, and then it gets provisioned. So once this circuit then is provisioned across the network, it will come sit here as active. So I may need to refresh my screen. So that's sitting here in pending at the moment. You can see it here is sitting here. It's sitting there in pending, the 100 meg. I'll let that continue to roll. And then it will come down here on the active. Let me just refresh my screen. And again, the internet's a bit slow here from Australia. I'll let that come through here. So here it is here, PCCW connection. It's been provisioned. So I've just lit up a service across the world for 1 day across our network. You can actually look at the utilization, any logs to do with that service. So you can see here, I've turned it on and it is 5:44 a.m. here where I am. And then you can see the billing from the service, $44 for 1 day. The settings, I can change the name of the service. It could be ABC company I'm dealing with or anything like that. I can flex, which means I can turn that bandwidth up and down. So we've got a 100 meg service right now. You know what? I made an error. I need it to be 200 meg. It'll come up with the pricing, the increment pricing, because I've only got that for a day. That 200 meg, they're going to charge me $1.83 extra. Sure, no problem. Next, then the provision then will increase that bandwidth straight up for 1 day. So everything to do with Console Connect, everything here is on demand, either to cloud, but the point of this is that it's click, click provision. Click, click provision, anywhere across the network. So also, as we automate and bring as we go through our digital transformation, new key areas or new key products of PCCW Global will come under the branding of Console Connect. So this month we launched Console Connect Co-Location. So not only as agents can you look at an interconnection for your customers, but also we also resell rack services in over 20 countries. So we have direct relationships with key data center providers from Australia to Europe to Africa, from the global switches to Equinexes to Sexterra. There's about 10 key partnerships we have, which means that we can resell rack services. You may have an enterprise customer in Chicago come to you and say, you know what, we need a rack in Joburg or a rack in Sydney. So you can actually, we can resell those, but also as an agent of PCCW Global, you can also get commission on that. We also have data centers, our own data center in Hong Kong. In this data center, which is the MCX10 data center and also the ICX data center. It is also a subsea cable. The ICX is a subsea cable landing station with a lot of the key cable systems in Hong Kong coming into there. But we also have interconnection there to over 35 other data centers in Hong Kong and also all the cloud. So we've brought our co-location into the umbrella of Console Connect. So as mentioned before, as a carrier, as we automate, as we go through that digital transformation, we will then slowly bring in some of our core products and offer them over our platform. So in December this year, so not long, it's only 8 weeks away, we announced Internet on Demand. And this will be available throughout the US, but available in around about 8 countries. So which means that a customer that has a port into our platform, into our software-defined interconnection platform, can order internet. So if a customer has a port, a 1G port, they may have 10 meg or 100 meg going to another data center or to cloud. Next to that interconnection tab on the platform, soon there'll be Internet on Demand. So the customer may have an AS, they can click on there, put in the AS number, purchase their IPs. They may say, you know what, I want 500 meg of IP transit and I just want for 1 day or 12 months. Price comes up, press enter, service provisioned. So service provisioned will take, again, roughly about 30 seconds to 60 seconds, which means now we can offer our customers throughout the 8-10 countries Internet on Demand in any of these areas. As well, they can buy IP. So this takes away, again, a customer to order a service, but also through a service, through manual order forms and everything like that. But also what we'll be launching in January, February, will be what we call our new meeting place. Very different than a marketplace. A meeting place is where our applications and our SaaS partners can all come to meet to all our customers, but our customers can purchase third-party services. So for an example, again, being on the platform, customers can order storage. They can order VMs with IBM directly on demand through our platform. So a customer may have a port into our platform. They're looking for a VM in Chicago from IBM. They can order that service on the platform. It gets provisioned in real time and use Console Connect to that VM in Chicago of IBM. So we're bringing all these new services that customers, enterprise customers, can purchase on demand. As well, you may have an enterprise customer that is working on a new UCaaS solution. So we're working with RingCentral and many others at the moment that our agents through PCCW Global can resell services, so we're becoming a reseller of RingCentral. But in return, all these things also come under the agent commission with PCCW Global. But also the customer can connect to those services through the Console Connect platform. So we're bringing more and more services online. Later on next year, we'll be looking at DDoS. We're looking at a whole heap of other third-party services directly to come onto the platform. So that enterprise customer can have a port into our network and to access all their third-party applications and all their SaaS partners. And that's it from me. Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Paul.
Thank you, Michael. I know it's 4:30, almost 5 o'clock in the morning out there. So I appreciate you dialing in today. You did a great job.
Pleasure.
What's in it for you guys that are on this call today? I mean, everybody wants to know how to get paid, how to tag a customer, and all those questions. One of the first things we've come up with is this channel marketing packet that we're going to share with you. You just need to email over to the agent channel at PCCWglobal.com. Again, agent channel at PCCWglobal.com. And I'll have Bob and Justine from marketing get this packet out to you. We can also, like I said earlier, set you up for some additional training. And we are still work in progress with this thing, getting ready to launch in December as far as how we're going to tag our customers for you as you bring us leads. And we do presentations and demos for them, get them onboarded. And when, like Michael was saying, there's going to be additional products they could purchase through our site. Those are things we're still working through to make sure you guys out there in sub-agent and agent land get paid commission on it. So with that said, just send me an email so I get this packet out to you with the battle card and the video and all. and we'll get set up for some additional training. And by then, Michael, myself will have a lot of these little glitches and bugs figured out to make sure you guys are getting paid. We're traditionally 15% commission on all of our products. So with that said, I think that kind of buttons up the call for today, except for Q&A. So I want to go to the next slide, and we'll open that up for some questions.
All right. Thank you very much to our presenters here. Yeah, we still have a couple minutes for questions. So let's jump right into it. What, in your opinion, sets Console Connect apart from some of the other providers that are offering on-demand and cloud connectivity services?
I'll answer that one. Look, we as PCCW Global, we are a global carrier, but also we have large infrastructure domestically. Many other, what I call fabrics, don't have that underlying quality of service underneath, so that they can't run multi-classes of service across their network and provision them. But also Console Connect, now that what I call we're in stage one, which is interconnecting to cloud and SaaS. Over the next 2 to 6, 12 months, we'll introduce more and more carrier products. These include, as I said, Internet on Demand. Soon they'll include things like IoT SIM cards, Console Connect SIM cards, as well as different things like SD-WAN, or how do we push Console Connect to the edge. As a carrier, we also work with over 220 local loop providers around the world, which means that we can enable Console Connect and backhaul it back to an enterprise building through all our partners. So we are a global carrier, which makes us stand out.
Fantastic. And what would your ideal customer prospect look like?
Very broad. An enterprise customer that's sitting in Equinix in Chicago that needs to get to AWS in Chicago. One, very simple. Small customer, but needs to get to multi-cloud for a multi-cloud solution. So they may have a VLAN directly into AWS and then multi-cloud over to IBM or Azure, either in the same region or in multiple regions. To a customer that may have instances or data sitting in Chicago to New York, in a Zayo data center in New York, and is looking for a layer 2 10 meg between those. That's another type. To a large enterprise customer that may have 10 to 15, that's in 10 to 15 data centers around the world, and need to get to multiple cloud around the world. Again, they can have ports into the network. To a enterprise European customer that's sitting in Chicago, has their data in a data center or enterprise building in Chicago, but their data's in Azure in London. So they need a VLAN directly secure, a layer 2 non-contended directly into that data to pull it back into Europe. That's another type of customer. So yeah, it mixes from the SME right through to customers that may have 10 to 100 sites around the world, but even a customer that wants to do multiple bandwidth on demand, right down to a layer 2 to enterprise buildings across our 190 countries. Fantastic.
And do you offer customers any service level guarantees?
We certainly do. So there's an SLA, exactly the same as any of our MPLS or switched Ethernet services. Just remembering that the Console Connect software is software that sits on top of our core MPLS network. So it's just a provisioning software. So any traditional SLAs, your 5.9 SLAs that we give to our enterprise customers, it's the same on Console Connect.
Okay, and last question for you. Do you offer a training and support package for selling the platform?
We certainly do. We certainly do. So customers, we can do live demos with the end customer. So you can pull one of our team in to do a live demo. But we can also offer customers quick access to the network to do their own testing in their own environment. They can have a port into our network and spin up services on a trial basis.
Okay, excellent. I think that should wrap up today's webinar. Big thank you to our presenters here, to the entire PCCW Global team, and of course to all of you for attending today's event. To access this webinar on demand, please head over to channelvisionmag.com/webinars. Also, keep an eye out for a follow-up email from Channel Vision, which will contain a link to the presentation. Thanks, stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.